Do I think that the dirt disc is kind of a fail? There, I'm doing a video of the Relax and Radiate Crate dirt disc and planter. I was going to include this in that original video, but it ended up making the video a little too long, so it's just a separate little add-on. And I'm happy to share how that turned out. Not exactly the way that I thought it would.
The Relax and Radiate crate included this little planter. I was happy to see that it had a plug at the bottom for a hole. I did take the plug out just to see how easy it was to remove and replace. However, I am going to keep it in place because I didn't want water leaking onto my counter where I plan to put the planter. So now I have the disc, the dirt disc, and I've put it into this bowl and added the suggested water amount. I don't remember if it was 2 cups or 3 cups of water. I feel like it was 2 cups, but it looks like it's more than 2 cups, but I'm a really terrible judge of volume and all of that kind of stuff. So it's still kind of floating in the water a little bit, so I pushed it down until the water really started to absorb and it stopped floating so much. And you can already see how the dirt started dispersing into the water. And I found it pretty interesting that just how it grew as it absorbed the water. And this is just a quick time lapse of that. It took about 5 minutes for all of the water to be absorbed. So I fluffed it out with a fork, kind of like you do with boxed stuffing mix. All of the dirt was wet. I made sure that there wasn't any dirt that was still dry. I just kind of mixed it in if there was. And then I just went ahead and put some of that dirt into the planter. So I put the dirt in the planter, opened up my seed pack, which is a pack of basil, large leaf basil apparently, and I dropped that all into my planter. There's all the seeds, and this may have been my first mistake. I put all of those seeds in that planter, all of those seeds in that tiny little planter. Well, it's not a tiny planter, but it certainly was too small for all of those seeds. Anyway, I put more dirt on top of the seeds. I gave it a little bit more water and then sprayed it. So the instructions were to use a spray bottle and just give it a little squirt of water every couple of days or whatever. So I started to do that. So here it is, and I used the watering globe as well.
So at this point, my plant was planted, but what ended up happening, so I was following the directions of spraying it every day. I had a little spray bottle I just happened to buy at IKEA, and there would be dirt on the counter because the dirt was like growing and spilling over the sides. And so what I think was happening is, even though the dirt was wet when I put it in there, I don't think it was fully wet. Like, I think it still was absorbing water. So as the water from the water globe infused into the dirt, and then I was spraying it, the dirt was continued to grow and dumped over the edges. So that happened for several days. At one point, I actually pulled a little bit of the dirt out to keep it from doing that, because it was like growing, and it was like doming over the top and then spilling over. It looked kind of ridiculous. So then after maybe 4 or 5 days, I started seeing little leaves sprouting out, and that was exciting because I do not have a green thumb at all, as we'll learn. So the leaves were sprouting, and then as the leaves were coming up, the leaves were pushing dirt out as well. So then I continued spraying, and it had the water. After about 5 days, I noticed all of a sudden I had nothing. Like everything died, just died. Um, I didn't do anything different. I don't know if I had too many seeds in there, like I said, if they didn't like the dirt, if they were bad seeds, I don't know, but they were dead. I mean, I just had like this covering of dead leaves and stuff. So then, so I just kind of left it there. I didn't do anything with it for like a week. Well, then after a week, it was kind of gross. It actually started growing like fungus or mold or something on the top. So I was like, okay, obviously I need to do something with this. So what I decided to do was I decided to just toss the stuff that I tried to grow, and I'm going to replace it with fake, because that's the kind of stuff I can grow.
So here's the pot without the dirt, and I bought 4 of the succulents from the Dollar Tree. They had some cute sayings on the pots, but I did pull all of the plants out of the little pot, and I arranged them in the planter. I left the dirt in the planter. I was going to use a styrofoam insert, but I decided that the dirt was going to work just as well. I do think that the planter looks pretty cute with these succulents on the counter in my kitchen.
Okay, so final thoughts on the planter and the dirt disc. You know, as far as it ended up turning out with the fake succulents in it, it's pretty. It looks cute on the counter. Would I have bought that stuff if I was in a store? No. Do I think that the dirt disc is kind of a fail? Kind of. I mean, it could be me. I'm not, like I said, I do not have a green thumb. I might have done something wrong. I don't know. It's an interesting concept, but I mean, seriously, potting soil is not that expensive. The planter itself is nice, but it's very plain. It's not something I would. I mean, if I'm going to buy a planter, I'm going to buy something that's got something interesting about it. I invested $4 in fake succulents that I otherwise would not have purchased, probably. And I'm going to invest something else in something to make the planter a little bit cuter. So, yeah, I kind of disappointed in both of those items from that Relax and Radiate Crate. And my next video is going to be the pillows that I made out of the napkins from the Relax and Radiate Crate. You can actually see them sitting on my chair right there. That video will be interesting because it was not nearly as easy and quick as I thought it would be, and really as it should have been. Much for stopping by. I hope you have a quality day, and I will see you again in the next video.